Good morning, everyone. It's Wednesday, June 26th. I'm Katherine Laidlaw here with Mark Dent, and you're listening to the Hustle Daily Show. A year after McDonald's was called out in a viral post for charging $18 for a Big Mac combo in Connecticut, the company is finally listening. As of yesterday, the chain rolled out a $5 value menu, joining other fast food restaurants that are lowering prices and offering more value options as the shadow of the great inflation rise of 2020 to 2024 continues to linger. We'll get to that in a bit, but first, let's give you the hits and headlines today in business and tech. It's another day, which brings another EU versus big tech battle. European regulators charged Microsoft with antitrust violations, accusing the company of improperly bundling its Teams and Office 365 tools. Tesla issued 2 recalls on the 11,000 Cybertrucks, one involving an issue with its windshield wiper, the other a trim in the trunk bed. Mark, what's your read on Cybertrucks?
The most amazing thing to me is that they're out there. I mean, I see them in Dallas, where I live. I was on a trip to Austin a few months ago, and I saw one there, but that makes sense because, that's like Cybertruck paradise. But yeah, they're hitting like the streets, I think, for normal people. And yeah, I've seen people snap photos and all that. But yeah, like the fact that they're having these recalls is, that's never good. But in some ways, it's an accomplishment because it took forever for these things to be out here. Now they are. And they're so here that they're recalling them.
It's like achievement unlocked. You've hit the streets for long enough to have a problem.
Yeah, exactly. And they definitely, I think, have lived up to the kind of level of popularity and just curiosity that I think was inspired when they were first released, or when the image for them was first released.
In other car news, Waymo's self-driving cars are now available to everyone in San Francisco. Anyone with the Waymo app can hail the Alphabet-owned taxis, no waitlisting required. In case you'd hoped to be taking that car to the airport, Delta opens its largest ever lounge inside New York's JFK Airport today. The 39,000 square foot space offers luxuries for up to 515 people, including a high-end restaurant, a bakery, a bar, complimentary spa treatments, and 8 shower suites, even ready with robes and slippers. Nice life at JFK.
Yeah, I think I need to start using Delta.
Seriously. I only hear people criticizing JFK, so it's nice that they're getting an upgrade.
I mean, LaGuardia has had an incredible upgrade, but I've not been to JFK in a while, so I guess they're catching up.
In soup news, there are now even more ways to burn your mouth. Campbell's is welcoming 4 spicy flavors into its soup portfolio because, well, young people are masochists. Flavors with heat, popular among the youths, now represent 1/4 of soup business growth. So on to the main story today. Inflation has been on America's minds for years now. Last year, an outraged customer took to X, calling out McDonald's for charging $18 for a Big Mac combo at a rest stop in Connecticut. The post went viral and really struck a chord with Americans worried about the rising costs of, well, everything. The company recently made some changes to its menu and pricing in response, and other fast food chains have as well. But it might not be enough to draw customers back. Mark, what's going on here?
Yeah, like you mentioned, it was last year when that post went viral, and there was an $18 Big Mac value meal. Like that was true. It wasn't one of those like fake internet sort of things that people come across fairly often. This was legit, but it was at a rest stop, and it wasn't like your typical Big Mac value meal. So nevertheless, it kind of just really symbolized this huge surge in fast food prices over the last couple of years, and frankly over the last decade. Obviously, inflation has been a problem everywhere, but fast food has been one of the just like hardest hit industries for consumers there. If you look at the consumer price index, inflation in the limited service restaurant category, which more or less is a fill-in for fast food, is up around 47% over the last decade. So that means that a hamburger that was $2.99 in 2014 is now around $4.50, and that's a pretty substantial difference. And if you just look at like McDonald's, The Big Mac, according to the company, a letter that they released a few weeks ago, was about $4.39 as a nationwide average in 2019. And it's now around $5.29, which is 21% higher. So it's really been one of these things where fast food, almost more than just about any kind of part of our economy, has been this very visceral reminder. Like, you think it's supposed to be value. Like, that's why you go to McDonald's. That's why you go to Wendy's. And then you end up paying over $10 for a value meal. And it just doesn't make sense.
And demand is dropping, right? What has the company done about its slowing growth?
Yeah, it has seen demand kind of crater in the last year or so. McDonald's stock is down about 33%. And Starbucks, another kind of fast food type of establishment, is down about 20% over the last year. So it's really been hurting them. And so McDonald's, about a month ago, started to announce this plan where they were going to have a new $5 value menu. And that value menu finally went on sale yesterday. And what it is that they're offering either you can have a McDouble cheeseburger or a McChicken. And then you also get a 4-piece chicken McNugget, small fries, and a small drink for $5. And that's available for just the next few weeks. But I mean, who knows? Maybe we'll see it stick around longer depending on how popular it is. And also because there's been a lot of competitors who've kind of joined McDonald's in doing this since McDonald's made that announcement. Wendy's has a $3 breakfast meal now. Burger King kind of has a carbon copy of the McDonald's value menu where they're offering a Whopper Jr. or like a chicken junior sandwich plus fries, a drink, and a 4-piece chicken McNugget. So, I mean, these restaurants have kind of realized that they can't just keep raising their prices and hope that they'll keep their consumers. What's also interesting is not only that, the fast food industry ends up being this very, as I was saying, like embodiment of inflation because it's a thing that we associate with being cheap. It's one of the sort of rare things where consumers have pushed back. Like, we've seen Americans in general spend through inflation. They just keep on buying stuff, which is part of the reason why inflation has continued to be an issue. And that has kind of not been the case for fast food in recent months. And so now you have this. And I mean, frankly, it's in some ways how like inflation is supposed to work. Like, the prices go up, and then people don't want it anymore. So then they start going back down, or at least kind of leveling off. And so maybe this will be a sign of maybe sanity returning, I guess.
Does it surprise you how much people care about their Mickey D's? Like, when I heard about this, I was surprised at the degree of sort of revolt and outrage that this prompted in something that is ultimately a hamburger.
It is surprising in the sense that, yeah, like you think that fast food, while it's a lesser expensive kind of meal out, it is still a meal out and kind of a luxury. So you'd think that people could maybe just change some of their habits to save money, go a little bit less. But that said, again, as I was saying before, McDonald's, Wendy's, they're like the symbol of value in this country. And on any given day, somewhere around 36% of American adults eat at a fast food restaurant. So you're talking about incredibly popular restaurants. And so when you see that burger that you were paying, again, maybe $3 for in 2014, which is, it's long ago, but it's not that long ago. You can still remember. And now you're paying closer to $5 for it. And, I go to Wendy's here and there. I don't go to McDonald's all that often. But Wendy's, I mean, those value meals where I live in Dallas are over $10 now. If you want to get like the medium fry, the medium Coke, and a burger, and it's when you see double-digit prices for Wendy's and for McDonald's, like that sticks with you, and it definitely makes you angry.
Right. It's like, how long can you purport to be offering value when things are inching up and up and up? That's an astounding stat about how many Americans eat fast food every day. And so these numbers are like, it sounds like $4 or $5, but when you multiply that by millions of people, that actually has a huge impact. So fast food is what people are worrying about, but are they worrying about the wrong things? What should they be worrying about when it comes to inflation?
So I really was, while kind of researching into this topic and thinking about the fast food, I really, really wanted to find this old study that I could not find it for the life of me. So I'm just going to sort of bring up what I remember it being. But this was a few years ago. And there's this really interesting sort of way that like people tend to think about money, which is that like we get so excited when there's like a 20% off sale or like a 30% off sale. And so you might buy like a coat or a jacket that was like, $75. You get it for 25% off, you save $15 or $20, and you really care about that $15 or $20 to the extent that like you decide to buy that because you can save just a few dollars there. But when we think of like larger purchases, like a house or a car, and you think of the difference between, oh, this car's normally $35,000. Oh, I'm not going to try that hard to like see if the dealer can give it to me for $34,000 because, because percentage wise, it's not that much of a difference. But it's an enormous difference in just the total aggregate amount of money. And so people's brains are generally wired to kind of like really go after that 20% savings thing instead of like thinking of these big picture purchases like $1,000. Like that's so many jackets right there, instead of just worrying about that little discount. And so similarly, there's been a lot of talk, lately about like, why are we still kind of focusing on some of these inflation statistics that we do, like the ones with fast food, the ones with eggs, which have actually, they've actually gone down in price lately, thankfully. And while obviously, everyone's entitled to be angry at what they want to be angry about, it might be more useful as there was a story in The Atlantic by Annie Lowry who pointed out like it would be a lot more useful if everyone was this mad about housing, which has gone up 54% since 2014, which is a little bit more than fast food. And obviously the difference isn't just $3 to $4.50 for your average hamburger or something. It's from about, $250,000 to $425,000.
I don't know. I hear if we all just stop buying lattes, then it's not going to be a big deal.
Right. Yeah, that's the fix for everything. So that's the good news. It's really easy to solve.
Sorry, Starbucks. That's going to do it for us today. Thanks for tuning into the Hustle Daily Show. We're a proud part of the HubSpot podcast network. Our editor today is Robert Hartwig. Our executive producer is Darren Clark. We've got a lot more tech and business coverage in our newsletter. Go get yourself signed up at thehustle.co/email, and we'll see you tomorrow.